I think we'll start in a few minutes. We'll wait till 3. But thanks for joining early, all of you. I know it's a festival day actually here in South India. So you've taken the time out. Thank you for joining.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We will start the session and we'll just start the session in 2 minutes. Maina, we'll just wait two more minutes if that's okay.
Yeah. Let's start sharp at 3. That's
yes.
fine. Thank you. Yeah.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for this afternoon session on investing in yourself with the 4 of our panelists that we have today. Mahesh Natarajan, thank you, Mahesh, for joining us. Vanita Chaudhary, Sharmishta Majumdar, and Aina Vishne. We've introduced all of the panelists to you shortly. And we would have this before that. For all of you who are new to this session, I would just like to take 2 minutes of your time to quickly introduce what CWE to you and welcome you to our platform formally, and then hand over the session to Maina, who would be the moderator for this panel today, along with being one of the panelists too. So CWE, Catalyst for Women Entrepreneurship, is an online-offline platform helping women entrepreneurs start up and scale up their businesses. We have a pan-India presence of 5,000 plus women in our network, and we provide them access to finance, networks, business skills, technology, and mentorship. How we do this is through our very strong network of 24 mentors and catalysts and 24 global national partnerships. Obviously, along with all the wonderful women we have in our platform and a very strong core team. Maina is a part of our CWE team, and we are very privileged that Maina is going to moderate this session for us today. So over to you, Maina, to take this session ahead. I would quickly introduce Maina and then hand it over to her so that she can introduce the other panelists. So Maina Bishnir is a process and people leader with 20 years of global work experience in building organizations ground up and bringing them to stability. A well-rounded execution style developed through experience in various industries, from a technology startup to small-scale manufacturing and supply chain management software system. Maina has an immense experience in this entire field. Maina is also an expressive art therapist and one of our counselors in the CWE Cares platform that we are going to focus and talk about a lot today. Maina, over to you to take this ahead and start the session.
Yeah. Thank you, Aishri, for that lovely introduction. And thank you all panelists for joining us today. We have with us here Vanita Chaudhary, Mahesh Natarajan, and Sharmishta to have a little chat today about investing in yourself. I mean, that's the topic. But we, for the same reason, CWE actually started this initiative called CWE Cares, which we feel that at this present time, as a woman entrepreneur, you're not only facing issues around business, but also personal issues. And they are very, very interconnected. You don't know what starts first and what leads into the other. And to be able to be available to you at these times, we've actually put together a panel of these experts, mental wellness experts, and also business coaches, life coaches, who are there for who have volunteered their time so that you can reach out to them and discuss whatever it is, and actually hopefully come out with ways to resolve these issues, look at things in a different way, and carry on with life in the new normal. So first of all, thank you, Vanita, Mahesh, for volunteering for this program and being available for our members and women in our network. I will start today's discussion with an introduction of the panelists. We have Mahesh Natarajan here. He is a counselor and works with adults, couples, and families from diverse backgrounds to support personal growth, including understanding of self, career goals and progress, overcoming fears, anxieties, creating nurturing relationships, sexuality, and intimacy. He was in IT and consulting for 14 years after his degrees from BITS Pilani and FMS Delhi, before shifting careers with an MS in counseling and psychotherapy and specific counseling skills training. In addition to his counseling focus, Mahesh is also a writer and has an ongoing column called Loveology in the New Indian Express, in addition to other featured articles and books of short stories. Mahesh has been helping companies improve inclusion of diversity through process, policy reviews, helping increase awareness through workshops, panel discussions, and other exercises, creating safer spaces and allyship, and developing employee resource groups. Welcome, Mahesh, and thank you for being on this panel. We also have Vanita Chowdhury here. I'm sure a lot of our members here are already familiar with her. She needs no introduction to this group. But however, here goes. Vanita Chowdhury, one of the first GNOS certified emotional intelligence practitioners in India. She comes with over 2.5 decades of transforming individuals and organizations through her impactful learning intervention, coaching, and mentoring. At the peak of her corporate career, Vanita was VP and Regional Head of Learning and Development at HSBC. She then went on to pursue her entrepreneurial dream with Radical Edge Learning Consultants, an organization that ignites, coaches, and empowers individuals to become effective leaders who help build a positive, rich, and productive work environment. A believer in the power of mindfulness, Vanita also coaches women and budding professionals in the subject so they can achieve optimal work life balance. She's also a business mentor at Cherry Blair Foundation for Women and holds a certification in women entrepreneurship from NSRCEL, Goldman Sachs, and IIM Bangalore. Welcome, Vanita, and thank you for being here today. We also have Sarmishta Mazumdar with us here. She is a member of CWE and also being very much instrumental in facilitating this whole CWE program with her partnership and collaboration. A brief introduction to Sharmishta. After spending 15 years in HR roles and working with organizations like Accenture, Aptiv, and EXL, Sharmishta ventured into her own with Mindfully Sorted. She has been passionately learning and experimenting with various forms of emotional and mental well-being practices since last 10 years. Her passion led her to start her project in the field of preventive mental care to help build awareness and normalize caring for your mind as regular practice. Her focus is also on driving affordability and ease of access to find your better way to enrich your life. Very noble cause, Sharmishta, I must say. Welcome to this panel. Let's kick off this discussion briefly. As I was saying, I think this new normal that we are talking about, with the pandemic, I know it feels like, oh, we've been talking about it for a while, which is why now it's a new normal. I guess we all have to learn to live with this. The one thing that I feel as a therapist myself is that change is something probably that we all have to learn to kind of be resilient about and work with, because that's what it is. It's the unknown. So Vanita, I would like to kind of the first question to you in terms of, especially in this context of this new normal, where not only is the professional life changing, the personal life, and I think the lack of space, or rather the lack of definition between the personal life and work. So what are some of the issues that people are facing? And again, more so entrepreneurs and especially women, people who have to run their own businesses and homes.
Sure. That's indeed a good question to segue into our further thoughts. So thank you so much, Mina, for that one. So I'm going to focus on the top 5 that I picked up in my interactions with real people, real entrepreneurs in the last 4 months. Being part of the Women Entrepreneur Cell and connecting with a lot of them, I think the first one is over analysis. So it's like we are in uh, analysis paralysis kind of a scenario. One, there's so much information and we are bogged down wondering what's happening. And hence, existing business and even businesses shutting down to take a new one. There's so much happening that, we are confused and wondering, how do we even take the next step? So sometimes over information really bogs you and sort of freezes your brain into not functioning. It's overwhelming. So that's the first thing that I picked up from people, for the women I've been speaking to. The second key thing that I picked up is the government rules. In India, we have India as a country rules, then we have state rules, then we have community rules. In case someone has COVID near our home, then everything gets shut. And it's literally like every day there's some new legislation, some new law. People are confused, and there is no particular evidence as to how do I run and move my business ahead. So keeping up with the legislation is the second one. The third one is the biggest for me personally, I feel, when people talk, is finding the balance and achieving body mind balance. Like a healthy mindset, I would say, because only when you're calm, you're even able to observe what is coming your way. So that's the third one. The fourth one is, thanks to all the media houses, WhatsApp, and tons of other apps we have, the information overload is like killing, literally. So, and in that, we don't even know what is a fact and what is just being forwarded. Like one, I think, so I never generally check my WhatsApp. I have particular time in a day. So at one time, it so happened that I opened the one that I saw 2 years back in some other place, some other context. And I wrote back to that person who forwarded saying, are you even aware when this happened? And I told them, don't forward this until you sort of get. So that's the fourth one. And the fifth one is selecting what to do and getting the right focus. To summarize, and for all the listeners here, the first one is, analysis paralysis, like taking action and moving forward. What should I do, or where do I get the information? Second is country legislation and the state rules. Third is keeping up with our own mindset, mind body connection. Fourth is information overload. And fifth one is having the right focus to lead further. So these are something that I picked up, and there are tons and other more, but these are like really top ones. And for women, I think, to be very honest now, Mina, that question does not hold good with a man or woman because both are undergoing similar stress. So the other day I wanted to speak to my ex-boss called me up and he said, hey, Vani, I want to catch up with you. I said, yeah, sure, Shiv, let's talk. He said, but anything after 10 o'clock? And I have some work, he said, some JP something. I said, what is that? I thought some new terminology in corporate world. He said, Jadu pocha, sab karne ke baad, I'll talk to you. Then I realized that is no more about man, women. I think equally they're stressing out, but I think women, we are more sensible and we got a good hang of things. But poor men, my heart goes out. And I think Mahesh is the only man in the group today. So you would resonate what I'm saying. It's stress for both. Stress for both.
Yeah. Very rightly put, Vanita. I think, as you rightly said, this whole loss of space and this demarcation or the boundary between work life and personal life is lost for both. I mean, we are all of us working from home together, including some of the kids who are doing their online classes. I have two of my own actually, and they're busy every day. So we have a daily routine, but also the lack of that space is something that I'm sure all of us are experiencing. Something that I, caught on what you were saying, Vanita, was you said that there is a lot of information, especially the social media and of course even the news, a lot of information that you don't know what is right and what is wrong. But one thing that I noticed, you said you had this very specific time period when you kind of look at it in a day, and I think that's amazing. I think that's one of the very cognitive skills that you can kind of develop, so that you can deal with the rest of the day, right? In that similar fashion, Mahesh, I would like to ask you, like you said, these issues that Vanita brought up kind of make people feel quite stuck and at times cannot function. While we feel that it's okay in personal life to take time off like that sometimes, I think today business has become far more demanding than it was ever before, right? So of course we cannot manage business unless we manage ourselves. So I'd like to hear from you how, some light on these issues that are being faced and some on how they can be addressed, you
Yeah.
know.
Maina, I mean, one of the main things to kind of segue from what Vanita was saying earlier is this idea of control, right? I mean, and the degree to which we experience a certain agency in ourselves, that we have the ability to actually exercise control in terms of the places that we live in and the environment that we live in, the work that we do. We enjoy a certain degree of equilibrium in our mind, but the minute that control kind of goes for a toss, it makes us quite agitated, and it makes us really kind of lose our sleep quite literally sometimes. And to actually manage things okay in this business world, when there is so much that's out of control for everybody, right? And especially this COVID time, and with the businesses not even knowing whether they can open or not, many agencies are being asked to work at 20% staff, 30% staff, alternate days, 2 days a week. It's very confusing out there, and it's really quite difficult to get a sense of control over how things are. And on top of that, like you were alluding to, working from home with children at home and parents at home and multiple generations at the same time, eating up all the bandwidth that is available, it's so hard to kind of shift in and out of these things. Some industries work better, in like some of us, especially as mental health professionals, have been able to adapt to this a lot easier than retail staff, for example, or people running like a boutique or a chain of stores or other things. So where it's been a complete and sudden stop to business flow altogether. And in that time, the degree of loss that we suffer and the degree of loss of control that we suffer takes quite a toll on our mental selves. And to have any reasonable chance of actually kind of working towards managing the businesses in these kind of control, loss of control situations requires us to be almost superhuman in terms of how we are able to understand what is happening to ourselves, and understand how we can re-establish control within ourselves, that we are able to kind of hold a lid on our anxieties, hold like a floor to the degree to which our moods can go down, that we can keep ourselves in that little functional space where we're not getting too anxious, we're not getting too depressed, and we are staying in that space where we can still exercise agency, still exercise control, still find creative spaces, still find relationships and connections to work on. And to me, that is that band in which we are mentally healthy and emotionally available, and our mental faculties are actually at our command. But to stay in that band of wellness, where we don't slip into anxiety or don't fall into depression, that takes a lot of effort and mindfulness, and it requires us to be able to check in with ourselves. What are we going through every day? Like I was noticing behind Vanita, there is the feeling wheel on Vanita's wall, and to see that that we should be aware of what are we feeling at all, because many times we just in such a rush to perform and such a rush to hold control and be perfect, that we don't recognize that we are emotional beings, that we are people with complex mental spaces that we occupy, and that the road to wellness is always starts with ourselves. And so unless we are able to kind of like watch ourselves and manage our mental wellness within that band of mental health, we're going to have a tough time performing in other spaces. Yeah, so for me, this idea of managing yourself so that you can manage your work is central to everything else. And I think one of the reasons I think we are all speaking here as mental health professionals talking about it is this is something we've always had to do. We've had to kind of always look at managing our own mental health when before we come and try to work with anybody else's mental health. And that also I think puts us at a little bit of like an advantage in terms of where we are in this current context, that we are able to kind of recognize that and help people to kind of like do this stopping in and checking in. And so anybody listening, I want to say that it's not just that we're coming across as like mental health professionals here, but also coming at this from a place of having had to go through this ourselves and learning to manage ourselves better so that we are able to do our work better.
Very, very rightly said, Mahesh. I think, as you say, for anybody to be able to manage their work or their businesses, they first need to kind of be able to look inside and manage themselves first. Something that you said that really stood out to me is this fact that people, as humans, or as humans as we know ourselves now, we kind of want to be in control of everything. We want to at least know what's going to happen, and I think that is the biggest change. Like anything that we know has gone out of the window. Nothing is working the same, and that is what is really, that loss of control is what really people are struggling with. And the other thing that you alluded to was to be able to recognize that for ourselves, to be able to say that, yeah, these are some of the feelings, and to acknowledge them. Because another thing about being in business is that you have this feeling that irrespective of what I'm going through, I have to be this person, to and follow through. But in these days, I think that is getting harder and harder because we ourselves are going through a lot. But as much, we still have to first manage ourselves to be able to do the business, and not the other way around. So what are some of the ways in which these kind of instincts or these feelings of unsettling can be taken care of? You mentioned mindfulness. If you could give us a little more insight on what are some of the things that we can do as practices, maybe, or when do
I
we
think yeah, I think a fair degree of different number of practices can come in terms of being able to do that self-assessment, self-check-in on an ongoing basis. I've seen people journal every day, and not just mind like just like randomly just noting down in a diary like what we would do as school kids, but mindful journaling where you are asking yourself specific questions and reflecting on that in your writing practices. And I've seen people who are using their relationships to check in with each other. Families who have developed a habit, especially during this lockdown, of having a meal together, and at the end of the meal, checking in with each other, or how are they experiencing each other. So I would, for example, sit with my partner and ask, saying, "Hey, what are you noticing about me?" And similarly, other ways around. And sometimes when I'm at my parents' place, I would ask my parents, saying, "Okay, how are you going?" Each of them going through and having that little bit of a dialogue. And I'll tell my father that today you're looking a little bit more perky and cheerful. What's happening? And then he might tell a story about like some gossip he heard on his family WhatsApp group or something like that. But to be able to use those resources that we have within the more restrictive environment that we have, requires a little bit of that creativity to kind of spark, and at the same time to be able to kind of use these resources instead of waiting for some perfect world to emerge where we would magically learn great techniques. I mean, much of mental health is common sense, and connecting back to our child selves in some sense, that to be able to kind of use what we know intrinsically as a way of managing ourselves. Like journaling may not work for everybody else, or some people may not like doing this interconnections. So to connect to who you are as a person, and in that way to connect to what helps. And sometimes talking to a counselor helps you do that a little bit better, to connect to yourselves, to figure out what resources work for you.
Thank you. I think those were some really good small tips that we can do. I completely appreciate that idea of spending some quality time with people you love and care about as a practice. I know it's harder, but even one meal time together could make a big difference in, kind of holding your feelings and space for each other. Vanita, a similar question to you actually, in terms of especially the women and women in business. Would you have any tips for them on how to kind of look at these issues? And in the same way, I would like to kind of throw this open, this kind of question open to the people attending this discussion here today. If you have any questions, we have our two panelists here, and myself included. You could ask questions. If you have anything specific that you would like to talk about and ask them, maybe something that you'd like to see if they can give you some tips on, it would be a good idea to ask these questions. You can leave the questions on the chat box. And yeah, Vanita, if you had some tips
Sure,
for
Maina.
our
Thank you
listeners
for
today.
asking that question. And Mahesh, really love what you said. And that is indeed Pulchek's the feelings wheel indeed. Yes, I'm a big fan of that. So two things, Maina. One is, when things happen like this suddenly, irrespective of how much we practice, it brought me also into a standstill. So I'm being very honest. So it's not that every day is going to be hunky dory, every day is nice, just because we are practicing mindfulness and emotional intelligence literally every day. So when I came back from Cairo after the speaking in the women's conference there, I got a line of emails when I opened my laptop at home. All my programs got cancelled, which is like leading into few lakhs a month. And when I read like one after the other, literally my mind froze. And that is a fact. For almost a day or two, I was in deep angst and, trying to figure out what do I do? It's like everything is new, uncertain. And then, I said, like, I liked what Mahesh said, and I do that most often is journaling down what my feelings and thoughts are like. What are those little minions telling in my head? So the first minion said that, holy cow, everything is come to a standstill. Another minion said, now that means you are not going to earn any money. Third thing, how are you going to run your business? So all these thoughts, whatever my minions said, which I call little minions in my head, I jotted it down. And after that, I actually did a little bit of meditation, in terms of not like pure meditations, like even taking deep breath or taking a walk. I had a cup of green tea in my garden, came back and I looked at those questions. And I said, okay, these are great questions. So what are the answers? Okay, what are the answers for these? So, for I'm sure each one of us in the room today, it's all inside us. It is just that sometimes you need a little bit of channeling, and sometimes maybe a question from someone which sort of ignites your thoughts, saying, "Oh yeah, of course." Where like every forward you get, please ask two questions: Is it true? Is it fact? And if it is, where is it? So, like that, what I did was I got into this, and then I still remember having this conversation with the lady. She's a friend of mine, and I wouldn't name the details because it's of confidentiality. She called me up and she was almost in tears because her business was shutting down. This was in April. And when I started talking to her, but she said, for you, everything is easy because you are in emotional intelligent. Sab kuch acha lagta hai. Tum kuch bhi bol rahe ho is all okay. Then I really understood her predicament. Then I said, it's okay. I'm not going to tell anything. You tell me what's running in your head. And I allowed her to speak. Finally, we figured out by end of April that this particular business A that she's currently doing, is not going to take off. It's not going to work. And that is a hard fact of life. So she said, okay, I get it now. I cried with you. I, plummeted all my energies. But the point is that I know now, and I have to accept the truth, Vanita, that this I have to shut down now. So I said, okay. So what's next? It's not that you're going to be keeping quiet at home. I don't think you're that kind of a person. So what are you planning to do next? So the transition happened when she understood and accepted. And that is what I think, Mahesh was also literally saying. And in emotional intelligence, that's what we do. It starts with awareness. Second is acknowledging, and then managing what to do next. And believe it or not, in June end, she opened another business altogether from home, which is taking off extremely well, and with all these conversations. So for all women listening out here, please understand that whatever we are saying may sound that okay, it's all good for them and not for me, and that's a very fair point. If that thought is coming, we really appreciate and acknowledge. However, the quick thing that you should be doing is sometimes writing all that fear questions or whatever questions coming to your head onto a paper. Keep looking at it every day. Trust me, it speaks to you. Those questions speak to you. You get something out of it every day. And by the time a week, maybe 7 days into literally looking at the sheet, you would get tremendous answers. And then reach out to people whom you're comfortable. It could be even your friend, it could be your children. Sometimes children throw such googly at you, you're like, that was the answer I was looking for. So don't hesitate to connect with anybody around you. And I think that things, so these are all tips, Maina. These are real, these are regional, what happened in the last few days. So to summarize, my journey is very simple. Be aware of what's happening, acknowledge, and second, accelerate, move on. No holding back to things that is not going to work for you. As much as it's your precious baby, your business, but sometimes calls like this spurn you and accelerate you into doing much better in life.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanita. I think that was very well said in terms of, first of all, being open to that awareness and accepting. Some of these realities are hard to accept. And as entrepreneurs, where we look at businesses as our babies, they are our creation. It is very difficult to let go or even kind of bring in any change in it. But I think in today's norm, that is one of the first things that we are looking at, is to see what's working, what's not working. Like Mahesh said, what is in our control and what's not in our control, and accept those things that are not in our control, and see how you can change yourself, maybe your business likewise, to kind of then move forward. So very well said, Vanita. Thank you so much. And like you said, there are times when those questions that you were talking about, very, very helpful. Sometimes you can introspect yourself, sometimes you can ask these questions yourself, but sometimes you need somebody else to help you through these questions, to help you kind of address them, even to kind of sometimes come up with these questions. We don't know, we don't always have this clarity of what is the question that I'm dealing with. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what this platform is trying to enable the women in this network to give access to. And for that specific reason, I would very much like to thank Sharmishta, who has been very graciously partnering with us. She's first of all a member of CWA itself, and we're glad that she is actually partnering with us on collaborating on this initiative. She's in fact the back end of this whole platform. So any of these bookings, and I'm talk to everybody who's listening here, any of these bookings, when you reach out, they are completely safe and confidential. As Vanita said, all of these issues are completely confidential. And when you reach out, it's really Sharmishta's team in the back end who coordinates and connects you with the right experts. We have a panel of experts that are available to you, that you can see on the platform. So again, Sharmishta, as we've been talking about, even Vanita mentioned that there are times when you kind of need to reach out. But it is not always easy to do that, both for ourselves and in general, And I know that your this platform that you have started yourself, the Mindfully Sorted platform, one of the main motivations behind it is to actually kind of garner this awareness of the various kind of mental preventive practices that are available, and also to kind of work with this on eliminating some of the stigma around reaching out. So I'd like to hear some views from you on what do people, how can people really reach out, and also maybe some of the benefits of actually reaching out in your experience. You're on mute, Sharmishta.
So thank you, Maina. And it was wonderful listening to both Vanitha and Mahesh. And I think they have already nailed it in terms of understanding that what are some of the challenges that we are facing, and where we need to what are the things that we can do. But you know what? There is so much of article written. There is so much of Sadhgurus and Deepak Chopras everywhere around in the world. But people do not reach out for help. That's a reality. And I have been doing this survey and going around in the market, or any research that NIMHANS come with, or any numbers that you see are getting published. While there is a steep need, there are two challenges. One, there is a challenge in terms of having the right resources available, and the second is the stigma around reaching out or even not knowing. It is almost like example of, if I'm using calculator and I was used to of using Khata Pencil for my accounting, when computer was given to me, I had a huge challenge. I don't want that computer. I don't think it can do something better for me, and I will be all messed up. So I'm happy with doing my Khata, taking a little bit more time, then shifting into the computer. And that's the kind of challenge that probably Mindfully Sorted has started and ventured into. And let's see how far we can go ahead with that. Because one is, we are trying to bring in different, through CWE Cares, I think I'm really glad for CWE Cares for giving this platform and this opportunity for us to kind of do what we wanted to always do, or started with doing. In CWE Cares, what you can do is, there are many practitioners that you can see. One is, why do we want to go to these practitioners? One is not because there is a COVID, not because you have a crisis. I think every day you need someone to get help. Even Sachin Tendulkar has a list or a bunch of psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors working behind him. Not because he is doing anything wrong or he can't do without them, but it help you to improvise. It helps you to enrich from your experiences, because we have so many hardwirings and conditionings which are there, like Mahesh just highlighted, Vanitha highlighted, the sense of control, letting go, and probably someone had controlled us at a certain point in our childhood. We had experiences in our conditioning. There are so much hardwiring that are there, that sometimes to just loosen up, sometimes to keep rechecking them, someone to help us find the right way of what is working yesterday may not be working today. What is working today may not be working 5 months down the line. So continuously doing that helps us to reach our potential. And as all the entrepreneurs in this list, I think you have been knowing that you don't have an organization who is hosting some programs for you. So it is you at the end of the day. And even if organization host programs, trust me, it is at the end of the day the employees' willpower. Otherwise, they just think HR se one mail aa gaya, arey yaar, fir se yaar, kaam kaun karega? So, that can be the reaction, but it is at the end of the day in your control, and the only thing that you can control is yourself, and in your control to kind of find the right channel to energize or reach your potential as an entrepreneur or as an individual, not just an entrepreneur. So that's one part, that how do you rechange some of your wiring and relook into your wiring from time to time. The second part is on the resources, because what works for me may not work for you. You might find great insights from connecting to Vanitha, but you may not find that with Mahesh. You may find with Mahesh, you may not find with Maina. So, every individual, because of wherever we come from and some of the connections that we have, finding like how if we want to do a knee surgery, we go to 5 doctors. Even for a mental care or mind care, if you want to change something, if you want to enrich at certain point, to find my right, and sometimes it can be combination, it can be 3 of them together, because each of them bring in that each special element into your discussion. Someone might start with, you might end with an art therapy or healing in a way, understand your problem better with Mahesh. So, so the whole thing is that you have to find your right person, and for that You cannot wait for the day I fall in crisis. I'm depressed and I'm stressed and I'm frozen and I can't think of anything else. I'm crying. That time your mind will not be equipped to go and do this survey or do this, that who is connecting well. Maybe considering the kind of regular stresses that we go in, we need to reach out and find one person who you feel comfortable at a time when you are not in your lowest point. And probably when you start going to that person after a certain period of time, maybe once in 6 months, once in 5 months, shell out whatever, or share whatever you feel like. And when you start doing that as a process and as a practice, you will see the day when something really hits you bad, you actually know whom to run to. That time searching and again making the person understand your whole history takes a lot of time. So I think these are, couple of things that I would like to live. And I think CWE Cares is an excellent platform where we have tied up with some of the experts to give one free session. So you can, if you have never in your life even gone and spoken, you don't even feel that I need someone to go and speak, it might be a right way to just book a session without any cost and have a heart-to-heart chat with someone and see how you feel. That might be just a beginning to it. And then when you do that, of course you probably step into that journey and you can probably see that you have different experts. You can read their profiles. There are art therapists, there are talk therapists, there are music therapists, there are psychodrama. So you can choose whom you want to. Business coaches, career coaches. So everyone adds value and everyone do not talk in, have their own style of practices. So if you can go and reach out and do one session just to see where you are, how things have been all through this COVID situation, and then, get into this whole journey of improvising and enriching rather than nailing a problem. Because today my business is going down or today my this is going down, but a continuous, if you get into that practice, you will see that how enriching that whole experience is. And as an individual, I think I have, as I told, in last 10 years, I have done many of it. And I think that was such eye-opening experience that it really helps to sit in front of someone, do something, or sit even in a group and and be with yourself during that whole process or whatever happens. So that's CWE Cares. And I think I'm really glad that Sucharita had taken up that initiative for the group, entire community, saying that, this is what they need, because they might be upset about things are not happening in the business, but it should also not be a time when they get stuck. But to unstuck them, you have to look into your inner self and rewiring itself part as well. So that's CWE Cares. And I just hope that all of you kind of try to at least do one session and see and experience how it looks.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharmishta, for that. Very rightly said that, when I first got into therapy myself, the way I looked at it, and that's a lot of what I tell people who, come to talk to me, is also that therapy is, well, in my case, therapy, but it can be counseling, it can be just a, one-on-one talk session. But it's like a gym for the mind. That's what I say. Why wait till you're like really, like Sharmishta said, like you're not capable of doing anything, because at that time, you're not even really even capable of reaching out for help. This is like a gym. We go to we go to these gyms all the time. That it's like that for the mind. And just to develop one of these practices, again, it doesn't have to be about talking to a professional itself. It could be any of these practices also that you develop, like we've mentioned, journaling. You spoke about writing some questions down, maybe managing a routine in your life, having set times for set things, so that there is actually a boundary, there is a space for everything. So these are some of the small tips, I think, that we can actually utilize to make our lives a little better in these times of rapid change and unknowingness. which is kind of becoming normal, as I said. As a expressive therapist myself, expressive art therapist myself, one of the things that I have always told people is to develop a gratitude journal, because while in this time when there is so much anxiety, well, there is so much that is not working, there is still quite a lot of it that's working. Yeah, I say that we are still breathing. Yeah, we are inhaling. That's one of the most normal practices that the body doesn't require even our consciousness to do, and to be grateful for that. So to be grateful for these simple things in life, simple things that we have, will help us kind of build resilience to then work with the things that we don't have, or we are losing control of, or we can't seem to get a handle on. So definitely, I mean, I've kind of told everybody that I talk to nowadays, in whatever form. It could be in a journaling form, it could be in a mandala form. Like, again, as an expressive therapist myself, we use the mandala a lot. It comes from your space of creativity. It comes from your space of just connecting with yourself. At times, it seems mindless, and that's fine, because then you're actually connecting with the rest of you. We're very much always connected with the mind, in the sense that the head is saying what is right, what is wrong, what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. At some times, to kind of give in and just lose yourself into your creativity, into your body, into your feeling sense, and just recognize and be gracious, have gratitude for the things that we have. So this is one of the practices that, in my space, I talk to my clients about. Similarly, Mahesh, Vanitha, if you could draw some kind of attention to some of the practices other than what we've spoken about, just some tips that people can, take with them and develop, would be nice.
Yeah, so maybe I'll start first with one thing I was thinking of. This idea of journaling or writing your thoughts down. What tends to happen if you do it unilaterally, or if you do it individually, is that our mind takes us towards our biases, towards what we already kind of like are stuck in, and we continue down that loop. And one of the things, like what Sarmishta was saying, is if you come and meet somebody, even for a one-off session, it can help you kind of pull away from that little north pole that you've gone towards, and ask you, saying, hey, you've gone towards the north, here's the south, here's the east, here's the west, and the counselor or a therapist or anybody, even like a anybody can actually kind of get you to kind of like get your mind out of the hole that you've dug yourself into, and think of something else. Like, my mind goes back to that conversation in that book and the movie To Serve with Love, where that black man who doesn't get a job sits there on a bench and is just talking with somebody, and some random person comes in and listens to his moaning and groaning and grieving, and tells him, like, why not just try to be a teacher or something, and then walks away. And that one thought, or the why not thought, does all the difference in that person's life. So similarly, for people who are in this journey, in all the people in CWE, whenever you find that you're getting stuck in like one rut, in one groove, and you're finding yourself getting into that place where you feel helpless and powerless, it's a great idea to even just take for that one-off session. You don't have to go through your whole life history with somebody. You don't have to kind of like do anything with it. Just come and like sit and like talk, and in that space, the why not questions, the what else questions, if not this, what questions. Somebody else asking you these kind of questions can just jolt you out of your stuckness, and that's pretty much what most of us need. After that, we all have enough resources to kind of pick ourselves up and go forward. Now, why I'm emphasizing that is that many times people hesitate to come and talk to a mental health professional or anything else, just because they think like, oh my God, here I have to go and say everything in my life and talk about all the pain and misery. It's not true. I mean, most of us, most of the sessions that I have are really those little nudges and little things. That's all that most of us do is just open up something, and then it's up to the person to kind of walk through it and discover new spaces. I mean, and like what Vanita was talking about earlier, in the start of this lockdown, I met like a woman entrepreneur myself, and in that counseling process, it was just a one-off session. And this person was talking about how this business that they had really invested in was going down, and they're like such a big loss. And I just said like, so you have, you've lost. I just said one line. I said you've lost your financial capital. You've lost your, some intellectual capital doesn't feel stuck. It doesn't feel like it's moving, it's stuck. Then I asked him, how about your social capital? Do you find that your social capital is also getting stuck? That's all I said. And so then this person kind of like, just opened up. And then 1.5 months later, I hear back from that person saying, that the one word you said, that I have social capital, even if I don't have financial capital or intellectual capital, that one word stuck with me. And I've like kind of like started a networking business, and is like doing home catering and something else through their social capital, just through the network of people that they have, and are fairly content with being able to feel that they can ride this through. So many times just coming for that one-off session is probably all that you would need. And please do not think that you were going to commit to like a lifetime of counseling, or just like going through everything and talking about your childhood, and talking about everything. You can if you want to, but it's absolutely not what mental health is about. It's just about like helping you kind of pull yourself back from the lows, or pull yourself down from the anxiety, to come back into that band of wellness where you can function for yourself.
Yeah.
Adding to just
yeah.
one more point, and I think Mahesh, it was beautifully expressed. I think one of the other thing that mental health experts also provide is a safe and non-judgmental space. We also can do and express the same thing to our neighbors and others and families and everyone else. But what a mental health expert provides is a very safe and a non-judgmental, because you're trained to be non-judgmental in your profession. So I think that is one of the added perspective, that many a times there are so much of darker things which we are not able to express to even ourselves. Maybe sometime just going and letting it out, expressing is half the healing.
Yeah, no, very rightly said, Sharmishta, and thank you so much for that, Mahesh. Where you very, very succinctly put forward what this counseling or therapy is all about. It's just to be able to question, like you said, the why nots, right, which don't occur to us sometimes by ourselves, and to be able to be open to that other perspective. When we're just kind of stuck in our own self, when you just even hear yourself, a lot of the times it's just being able to even hear yourself that would allow you to see, oh, why not that, right? Is this really what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, very rightly said, in terms of it definitely doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. And as you rightly said, as to contrary to what a lot of people think, reaching out to a counselor or a therapist is all about going all the way to your childhood. You just like, I think those days of lying down on a couch and telling you, long hours of what your life is. It can be that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be just dealt with whatever is present for you at that time, whatever is the issue that you want to talk about or you want to deal with. And that kind of space, as you rightly said, Sharmishta, is absolutely non-judgmental, and it is your space. It is about what you want to address and take it. In fact, we have Sudha Mudigonda, who has very nicely put it here on the chat box. She says, expressive arts, mindfully sorted, radical edge. When the names are put in this way, they seem to be an organic progression. When you are expressive and mindful, you can develop that radical edge, which is very much needed for an entrepreneur. Wow, very beautifully said. Your creative juices are flowing, Sudha. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, and Vanitha, would you like to add something in terms of tips that our listeners today can take with them?
Have someone like a 3 a.m. friend always. And for me, it's my coach. So though I've been a coach myself for more than a decade, I still, depend on my coach. And I also have business mentor. So I like talking to people. I like stories that inspires me. So that's why the famous, therapist Bill Nye said that everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't know. So it's fascinating that just talking to someone. So I've also logged into the link that has been put on the chat, and I'm going to register my one free on one session today after the call. So I think we need to somewhere also role model if we are going to be there, and I love talking to people because perspectives just come up. So I think you never get a unbiased listener like you would get when someone is listening to you, and that's the power of having someone like a 3 a.m. friend, like a great coach or a mentor that you should have. So I completely solicit what Mahesh and Jasmine said, and that is true. It's nice to always chat around or just blabber around without realizing that somebody's going to think something about you.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanitha. So, as I said, if there are any questions for our panelists here today, who are, of course, available to you through the CWE platform, I mean, through the CARES platform also. So please do avail your free session if you want to talk to them one-on-one, and if you are specifically looking for any counselor or any mentor expert that you would like to talk to, Sharmishta can arrange for that too. So we do have a few minutes if anybody wants to ask any question, anything at all to any of our panelists today. So, okay, we don't have any questions here on the panel, but I'm sure people, if when they find the right time and the right this one to reach out, they will, which is why it is made available to you through a platform. Okay, I think Sudha here, Sudha Mudigonda wants to know, can we summarize the services individually? Sharmishta, would you like to do that?
Yes. So what CWE Cares is a part of the CWE website page. So when you go to CWE website page, under services, you have CWE Cares. And even the link has been provided by Ayushri, and it has been circulated through mails also. So what you have to do is, there is a panel of experts. There are panels panel members who are either member of CWE Cares, plus there are honorary members like Mahesh, and there are mindfully sorted experts as well. So some of the experts will, if you are asking for a free session, whoever is an available expert will be, we will block their time, right? So whoever is available. So you cannot probably choose that which expert you want to reach out. But if you're not comfortable during your discussion, you can always come back and share, and we can always have another person lined up. But the aspect is just because of the logistic and the execution part. For a free session, we will help you with the good expert, but we cannot tell you that, okay, this person is exactly available, right? But you can also book specific time, which are on a chargeable basis. You can book specific experts on the CWE Cares platform also. So all you have to do is, there is a list, you just click on the list and you pick up the person you prefer, saying like, I want a dedicated one-on-one session on a chargeable basis kind of thing. So you pick on the link and you click on the expert that you want to reach out, and then we will arrange for the session with that person. So so that's the only difference. The only difference is, for the free session, it is limited to one session. But we will always, as we are starting off, we will always address, if you're not happy with that session, we will always have another session lined up and have a discussion and all of it. We can work that out. But for the free session, you can just give us the preference of your time and your date, and we will arrange for someone who is available in your preferred time and a date with some expert. So that's how the whole system is very simple. You just go, it's very self-explanatory. It's written, book your session for free, book a session for a specific expert, and you can book it. So there are multiple people, their profiles are there, their background is mentioned, their experience is mentioned. So you can look through each of them, and whoever you feel connected, you can do them.
Yeah, also to add to that, thank you, Sharmishta. Also to add to that, the panelists, the variety of fields that they are from. Like you see here, we have Mahesh, who's a counseling expert. We have Vanita, who's more from the coaching background and the emotional intelligence. I myself practice expressive and creative arts. Similarly, we have on the panel people from all the way from leadership, business coaches, life coaches, to therapists and counselors. And like Sharmishta said, their profiles are there. You can definitely choose depending on what you think is your comfort level. And if you are not sure what might or might not work for you, then opt for the free session. Whoever expert is matched up with you will definitely be aware of all these other practices that are available, and will also be able to advise you if there is a better way to address your issues. And I think Sharmishta herself will also be able to help you on that regard if you have any specific issues as to who to reach out to. And the platform, as Sharmishta said, is very simple. It's just a form that you need to fill, which will be picked up by the Mindfully Sorted team, and the logistics are coordinated with the experts. So we have, and again, our thanks goes out to Sucharita, who has made it her personal mission actually to enable this platform to the CWE network here. And it's her project of passion, I would say, and I'm very fortunate to be working on this project and to have brought it to life here. So if Sucharita is there, would you like to say a few words, Sucharita?
Adding to it, I think Mindfully Sorted was started with in the ideation stage in January. I went to Sucharita, and we had and she was the first person, one of the few people who started believing in the idea. And that's how I think the Mindfully Sorted being supported by CWE, and including Maina, who we worked with, who we are working with. She was one of the few initial expert, Maina, Shubha, and everyone who came on board and helped Mindfully Sorted. So I think Mindfully Sorted is a pure play product of CWE platform.
Happy. I think we have all very much know now, as being part of CWE, that we all grow and nurture each other and grow through these partnerships and collaborations. So, okay, Sucharita says she has nothing to add, but honored to have some very accomplished professionals who are there for all of us. I would say all of you, please come ahead and make use of this service that all these experts are volunteering for. We know these times are tough, but together we can get through. So thank you all. Aishri, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Maina, for beautifully moderating the session. And thank you, Sharmishta, Vanita, and Mahesh for giving so much insight about this entire scenario, about this stress everyone is going through, both professionally and personally, and for beautifully explaining what CWE Cares is. I look forward to all the participants coming and checking out the platform. We have put the link on the chat box. Please do come check it out, book your one-to-one free sessions, get in touch with us for any support that you might need. And thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have the next, I would just like to quickly tell about the next webinars that we have lined up for you. We have the next one on the 26th. This is a very special webinar where we are going to talk about CWE's focus on the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and talk about the Mysore chapter that we have launched. And following that, we have a session on acing the business plan with one of our mentors, Amrita Singh. Following that, we have another very interesting workshop on digital marketing, where it's a very hands-on workshop where you'll be actually taught how to create your own Facebook business, WhatsApp business, and Google business pages. So please, we'll send out communications soon. We'll only have 50 seats for that workshop. So please block your seats and be a part of all our future sessions. Looking forward to have you all as members too in our platform. All the membership details would be forwarded to you by my colleague Steffi, who handles membership. And you can reach out to us at membership@cwe.org.in. The details are on the chat box again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanita. Thank you, Mahesh. Sharmishta.
Thank you. Thank you.